New tonight, residents living in a so-called cancer cluster in the 5th Ward are reacting to newly released test results that suggest the soil around their homes poses no health risks. That's despite them living near the old Southern Pacific Wood Treatment Facility that has caused cancer concerns for the community for years. This is a story Matt Doherty has been following for more than 5 years now, and he joins us live with the latest tonight. Matt.
A little more than 24 properties were tested for this first round. The EPA says that none of them had levels of carcinogens that would require immediate action. Neighbors who live in the 5th Ward were not happy following tonight's presentation by the EPA. We've been following the journey of Joe Ballard and his family for the past several years in their quest to have Union Pacific clean up what they believe are toxic chemicals left behind from a wood treatment plant that started operating more than 100 years ago.
The damage is already done.
The material is called creosote, the black tar-like substance used to treat telephone poles and railroad ties, and it contains chemicals known to cause cancer. It was processed for years at a plant off Liberty Road run by Southern Pacific. Joe Ballard's family home, which has stood for more than 150 years, sits right behind the site. Joe, his siblings, and his neighbors grew up playing in the creosote tar pits and drinking water from the wells in their backyard.
I've lived it. They can't tell me nothing.
Tonight, the EPA released the first round of test results from soil samples obtained from 27 consenting property owners north of Liberty Road. 6 of them had elevated levels of either dioxin or benzoapyrene. 2 of them had elevated levels of both.
There were no levels of those chemicals in anybody's property that would cause us to take an immediate action or that would be an immediate risk to somebody's health.
EPA project manager Casey Luckett-Snyder says the purpose of the testing is to evaluate the risk to residents, then determine if cleanup would be the proper course of action. For those with elevated levels of the carcinogens in their yards, she says only basic precautions are needed. But if you have a 1-year-old playing outside eating dirt,
that's not a great idea. Yeah. And that's exactly right. So if you have a 1-year-old outside eating dirt, that's probably, you want to go to the park instead.
Joe Ballard and many other neighbors have refused to allow their properties to be tested. Joe says he doesn't trust those performing the tests. He showed us these photos he took on his property last year. He says the remnants of the creosote can be seen after every time it rains.
I know it's there. I've been there 60 years. I know it's there.
Again, these are only the results from the first group of tests. The next results will come at the end of March. Those will be from properties in Zone 2. Back to you.
Matt, thanks so much.